This is Deductor, bringing you Against the Storm, the 1.0 release. This is a game I have been looking forward to for a very, very long time. It's been in early access, I think, for 1 or 2 years, something like that. It was released on Steam last year, around October, and I bought it, and I played in early access for 80 hours, which is the most I've ever played any early access game, because I don't like to do that. But this game was so good, and I didn't stop playing because I got bored of it. I stopped playing because I just want it to be fully fleshed out. They were still changing so many different game mechanics every 2 weeks with all these updates that I recorded some videos back then, but I never uploaded them because it didn't feel right. But now I am so excited. Why am I so excited by this game? It is a city builder, but it is a roguelike city builder. So you can't just follow a set strategy to win. And there are up to 20 additional difficulty levels, kind of like the ascension levels in Slay the Spire. So it's just a perfect type of game for me. I'm too excited for words, and I'm gonna go through with a new profile and do the tutorial because there was feedback about how I just rush into these games and don't explain anything. Well, don't worry. I need to play the tutorial because I have...
The world is plagued by the Blightstorm, a vile cycle of destruction ravaging everything in its path. The only safe haven is the Smoldering City, where the mysterious Scorched Queen reigns. You are one of her Viceroys, a pioneer sent into the wilds, tasked with establishing new settlements and acquiring valuable resources for the crown. Your goal is to help rebuild the Smoldering City and secure the future of the Queen's subjects.
It's a very, very simple story. This is not where the game shines. Okay, use the WASD keys or the mouse to move the camera. Pretty standard stuff. Oh, you don't want to neglect your villagers or the queen will be very impatient. Very good. That's this blue, red meter, by the way, the impatience meter. Fulfilling your duties will increase the town's reputation, unlock new buildings, and eventually bring you to victory. And the way it works is you need to get all your blue bars filled up. That's how you win the game. Now, choose a new blueprint. Select the crown icon below. Each expedition starts with only a few essential blueprints. More will be given to you as you gain reputation points. Now pick the woodcutter's camp. This is the very, very first building, so we'll pick that. Space to resume. You want me to build it, right? Build it. Okay. So let's, how do you build again? Down here. Okay, camp. Woodcutter's camp. So, you can pause the game by using space. Let's put the woodcutter's camp in a way that makes sense. I feel like this is not what the woodcutter's camp used to look like. But we'll put two down. And then the villagers will go and build. And we can build some roads to speed things up. Here are the little villagers. We got humans, beavers, and lizards. And look at that, the villagers are building these buildings. How incredible. Let's put some beavers in this particular woodcutter's camp and some humans in the other one. Beavers are especially good at woodcutting. They have a plus 10% chance of doubling their yield. All right, what does the tutorial even want me to do? Build 2 woodcutter's camp and deliver 10 wood. Okay, fantastic. Well, now the villagers are going about chopping the wood, as you can see. Gathering resources. The resources go into the internal storage of the woodcutter's camp and eventually will be moved to the main warehouse. Look at that. Look at these little villagers go. Isn't this just the most incredible thing? They all have raincoats on because there's a lot of rain. Okay, orders to complete. We've completed 2 woodcutters camp, and we've gotten wood, so we can deliver this. And that resulted in us increasing our reputation with the queen, and we have a new building. This time it's a shelter. We'll have to build a shelter to house our residents. Okay, mark trees for harvesting. Yep, so you can mark specific trees to harvest, but like that. And then the woodcutters will focus on cutting down those particular trees first. And there are modes where you can force it so that they don't even harvest any trees that aren't marked. Those are all like advanced concepts that are more necessary on higher difficulties and stuff. We're not going to worry too much about that. Winning and losing. Being against the storm, you build not one, but many settlements. To successfully establish a town and therefore win a run, you need to collect enough reputation points to fill the entire reputation bar, blue. It is important to do this before the queen's impatience, red, reaches its maximum. If the queen loses her patience, you will lose. You also lose if all your villagers either leave or die. Then exploration. Although you're surrounded almost entirely by a thick forest, there are smaller and bigger glades around your starting location. To establish a successful settlement, you'll have to cut your way through to them. Glades can contain resources, treasures, fertile soil, ruined buildings, and more. Use the tree marking tool. The axe icons on the right-hand side of the lower central HUD to point your woodcutters to specific areas of the forest they should prioritize. Yep. Best rewards come from dangerous or forbidden glades, marked with a skull icon. These always have at least one dangerous glade event within them, which will require you to deliver certain goods or complete a challenge to complete them. And so there's, I don't know if there are any dangerous glades on the tutorial map. Oh, there's one. Probably later on they want you to do that, but there's a little glade right there that we can cut open. And our order is to explore the wilds. Also, the game wants us to put beavers in as the woodcutters, which makes sense since they're the best at that. And in fact, let's prioritize. Let's prioritize opening this particular glade right there. We have some idle villagers aren't doing anything, but you know what? They can do something. They can build a shelter so that our villagers have somewhere to live. Having places to live will increase their resolve. I guess the tutorial is probably going to cover that later. Actually, probably going to be part of the tutorial, but it's all good. You can also open that glade. I feel like they changed the interface quite a bit. How do I know how much wood I have? I feel like you used to be able to see that at a glance. Okay, well, regardless, come on beavers, let's chop chop. I think I need one more house. You can speed up the game by doing that. The plus and the minus buttons? No, it's not the plus or the minus buttons. But anyway, we explored one glade, and there are more resources there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the woodcutters camp. I'm going to deactivate these so that we can, or demark those other trees. You can move your, well, not all buildings. You can move certain buildings around by pressing the M key. Other buildings you can also move like this shelter, but it costs resources. The woodcutters camp and many gathering buildings can be moved completely for free. So the idea is you gather resources in an area, then you just move it closer to another area when you're ready. Alright, let's chop through these trees, buddy. Beaver buddies. All right, so we've opened a second glade, and we can deliver our second quest. Now it wants us to build a small forager's camp, gather some vegetables. All right. So now we have a small forager's camp from the Queen's envoy. Let's gather some vegetables like that. And then beavers, you just keep cutting whatever wood you want. Alright. Get this building built. Maybe I should move it like this. We'll put 2 humans in there. Humans are good at gathering, farming, so gathering vegetables and wheat and so forth. So we have to get 5 vegetables. Okay. Alright. Go along, humans. Trust you can do this. Vegetable is a type of food. I guess there's no tutorial to explain that your villagers need to eat food. I already, I don't think I need a mark more for harvesting. If you don't mark for harvesting, the beavers, the woodcutters, will just cut whatever they feel like. You know what? Let's cut some of this stuff down here. Clear out some space for future growing of the city, of the village. Alright, we've gathered all the vegetables, so we'll deliver that. Now, the game wants us to gather stone. Okay. So we have to gather clay. Let's build a stone cutter's camp right here. And the season changed. I mean, the tutorial hasn't gotten to the seasons yet, so let's not worry about the seasons. Let's not worry about it. Put 2 humans in here. You gather all the clay humans. Alright, chop chop everyone. Alright, we got all the clay. We'll deliver that. Now we need to harvest fiber through the harvester's camp. Right now, this is just real basic stuff. It's gonna get a lot more interesting very soon. So, but look at how nice our little village is looking already. It's got houses, it's got camps to gather resources. You just need to convert these resources into something more useful. But we're putting a human and a lizard. Why not? Let's gather some plant fibers. That's fuel. I wonder if there's crafting resources. I wonder if there's a good way to see all your resources simultaneously. But perhaps not. Logistics. Okay, there's another tutorial. Every building has its own internal storage where the goods it produces or gathers are temporarily stored. When the internal storage reaches its limit, the goods in it will be transported to the main warehouse by a worker. While transporting, it's important to keep in mind that villagers have a limited carrying capacity, depending on their profession and active perks, so they might need to walk between their workplace and their main warehouse multiple times. Goods kept in a building's internal storage can also be accessed by workers from other production buildings as ingredients for recipes they're working on. Two buildings are close enough and use each other's internal storage, an animated dotted line will be visible between them after selecting one of the buildings. Sometimes deliveries and production might stall for a while because of breaks. Every few minutes, workers will return to a nearby hearth to eat and rest. During a break, they'll consume at least one food and try to fulfill all their needs. Clothing, services. If a villager has multiple needs tied to complex food, they will consume more than one meal. So now we're starting to get into things that changed since I last played. The logistics thing wasn't how it worked. Like, you always had to deliver goods back to the warehouse, and then the buildings that would produce the more complex goods would always get it from the warehouse. But now if you put, I'm guessing, a harvester's camp next to like a weaver, then the weaver can just use the resources directly from the harvester's camp. That's a nice change. Okay, we got newcomers. We don't have to accept the newcomers right now. Let's do the order first. Ah, look at that. It does give us the next thing we need, which is a crude workstation. And it wants us to build planks, fabrics, and bricks. So the crude workstation is one of these production buildings. Let's see. Ah, yes, indeed. I can see the dotted lines. Those did not used to be there. How fascinating. Let's move that one over, and then we'll build another crude workstation right here. And let's get the new villagers. Let's do 2 humans and a lizard. And we should probably build 2 more homes, 2 more shelters. We can move the woodcutters' camps out of the way. Let's put a human and a lizard in this one. Let's make this planks and fabrics. And then the other one can make bricks. Don't need pipes. Okay. Seem to have blocked off some of the traffic down here, but that's alright. This is a bustling village now. We got production buildings going. Got a lizard taking a break. Lots of wood cutting. Newcomers in 7 minutes. Let's see. Yep, we're making bricks already. The logistics seem pretty... You can put your buildings a decent distance apart from one another. Alright, there's also the storm, the season. We're not going to worry about it yet because the tutorial hasn't covered it. But these seasons have like gigantic effects on the game. Can speed things along a little bit. Wow, it's taking quite a while to make these fabrics and planks in this basic production building. The crude workshop is not a very efficient production building. Yeah, mark trees for harvest. You can just like cut your own trees. Okay, let's deliver that. And then we have one last mission to do. We have to cut through the forest to discover one dangerous or forbidden glade. Change scrolls to fabric in the ancient shrine. Huh, this is a new type of quest. And then deliver one ancient tablet. Let's change scrolls to fabrics. Do we have scrolls? I assume what it wants me to do is... Okay, let's just cut through the ancient glade first. This is a tutorial map, so surely it can't be that crazy. Let's do it like... we'll put a workshop here. In fact, let's move that shelter out of the way. And we'll put the other one there. And then we're just going to beeline straight for the dangerous glade. I think I know what this tutorial wants us to explain, but... Oh, we got houses. We have a lot of humans. We have the most humans. Let's get a human house. I'll build one human house. But, all right. Otherwise, choose a cornerstone. These are buffs to the entire community. Carpenters to exploration contracts. Sure. Doesn't matter for this tutorial map, but those things, they're like relics in Slay the Spire. They add significant effects and they're random every single time you'll run. Alright, gonna have to move these woodcutters camps a little closer. Maybe we'll build a road. Alright, come on. So I think what the tutorial is trying to explain is that in this dangerous glade, there is an event that you need to solve. There's no combat, but there are all sorts of other dangers that you need to spend resources to solve, and you get rewards from doing it. If you don't solve the problem, well, really, really bad things can happen. So you definitely want to solve whatever the problem is in this dangerous glade. Okay, so change grows to fabrics. Oh, what it wants us to do is it's trying to explain that to solve this dangerous glade event, there's an ancient shrine here, an ominous shrine from a long forgotten era. It's dangerous, but might hold some ancient knowledge useful to the crown. So here's the threat. If you don't do anything about it, it'll kill 3 random villagers. That seems real bad. In 42 seconds, really? Usually you get more time. But to solve the problem, what you can do is just have villagers. You can assign up to 3 villagers to bring it planks and fabrics. And it's trying to explain that you can change the resource that is delivered. Do I not have enough planks? And then that, so that, for example, it was by default 20 scrolls, but I have 0 scrolls. So if I change it to 4 fabric, I can actually do that. You guys are making planks, right? I'm gonna unassign this lizard from there, and then I'm gonna unassign a clay gathering human. I'm gonna put everybody into this dangerous glade to resolve the event. So if it has the idling, it means there's not enough resources or some such. Wait. Why is there not enough resources? I clearly have the resources. Oh, you have to click on the investigate button. Ah, right. You gotta click on this investigate button, and then your villagers will bring the resources needed to solve it over. Gonna kick that human out. Alright, so, because I didn't solve the event in time, I guess it's trying to explain that it's dangerous and villagers can die. Yep, human died. Craftsman, forager, they died. Normally you get a much more generous timer, like, 5 minutes, not like 1 minute. So that's why that happened. I guess the game is trying to explain to you that things are dangerous in this forest. Alright, all these things, they don't matter, because as soon as I solve this event, I will win. The tutorial mission, at least. Glade events. Ah, here it is. Glade events are found in the forest, like abandoned caches, survivor camps, ruins, wild beasts, etc. Some of them are positive, offering goods or new villagers in exchange for a small amount of resources. Others are dangerous, forcing you to act quickly to avoid negative consequences, while also giving you generous rewards should you complete them. Once you select the Glade event, the event panel will appear. There you'll be able to find a few different sections: effects, worker slots, requirements, and rewards. The effects section shows you the possible negative consequences of the event and how much time you have left before they occur. To complete an event, you need to assign workers to it. Choose one of 2 options if the event has more than 1 solution, and select investigate. Yep. Did not click that investigate button quickly enough. Very often, events have more than 1 way of being solved. Most events offer 2 different approaches, with each approach having its own requirements, rewards, and so-called working effects. Working effects are special conditions that activate once you give the order to investigate event, like a resolve penalty, a slow debuff, etc. Your goal is to survive these conditions for a set amount of time. After an event has been completed, your workers will deliver the rewards to your warehouse and no negative effects will trigger. So this one, I don't know it actually has the negative effect while you're working on it, but we'll find it once we do our first official map. You'll see that happen. Okay, and then there's a tablet. If we deliver the tablet, then we can turn in our order and win the game. Also, there are a bunch of auto pause options. Where is it? Gameplay. I'm going to turn on auto pause when newcomers arrive. That seems important. Alright, for like an actual game. But for now, we click on the orders, deliver this, and we've beaten the tutorial map and learned the very basics of the game. Gather resources, craft stuff, fulfill your orders for the queen. This village has been secured, but there is one more test of your skills. Okay, new map. Press any key to start. Yep. Villagers with low resolve will start leaving, increasing the queen's impatience. Keeping resolve exceptionally high will grant passive reputation over time. Satisfying your villagers' needs with complex food, homes, and services will increase their resolve. Each species has a different mix of needs. It's hard to please everyone all of the time. Farmers can plant only on farm fields, and those can only be built on fertile soil. Crops are planted in the first season, harvested during the second clearance. Build a farm, harvest grain, and serve some ale in a tavern. Okay. So now it's getting into what you have to do to keep your villagers happy. There's a lot of icons. We can discuss that on like an actual game, but let's stick with what the game wants us to do. Wants us to build a small farm, and I guess we don't have any orders yet, so we'll just build a farm. I can't quite cover everything, but we can cover that much there, and then build a small... No, you need woodcutters camp no matter what, so let's crank one of these out. And then another small farm, perhaps. This game really wants us to build those. And we'll build some basic roads. The Hearth Keeper, this can matter later on. We'll worry about that later. Reputation points. You can gain reputation points in 3 different ways: by successfully completing orders, by exploring your surroundings, or by keeping your villagers happy. Orders are very straightforward. You always get at least 1 reputation point for completing them. To gain reputation for villagers' well-being, you have to increase their resolve so that it reaches the reputation threshold indicated by a blue line on the resolve bar. After that, they will start generating reputation points passively. With time, your villagers will become accustomed to their living conditions, and the reputation threshold will increase, forcing you to satisfy more complex needs. To acquire reputation from exploring, you will have to cut your way through the forest to dangerous or forbidden glades, and complete the glade events located there. But beware, these events can be challenging at times, or might require you to deliver special resources to complete them. Some perks or goods bought from traders can also increase your reputation. Alright, so reputation is how you win the game, and just explain that there are 3 different ways to do it. Orders, making your villagers happy, or solving glade events. And you're probably going to use like a mixture of all 3 to win the game. Alright, we need farm fields, and let's put some humans. Oops. Put some humans in there. I might not even use the second farm right away. Let's cut some of this. I don't want to cut through to the small glade just yet. So I'm gonna only cut the marked trees and avoid glades. Because what if there's an order to to explore glade, you know? Why can't it, Oh, you have to manually build the fields. How does that work? Like that. Okay. So that's why the farm is complaining. It's because you have to manually build the fields on the fertile soil like that. Okay, and then I can might as well delete the ones that are not in range. Okay, I guess I don't really need the second farm. Okay, we did the first order. Now we need to have 2 woodcutters camp and 2 shelters. Yep. And they very specifically made it 2 woodcutters camp. It has been my experience that that's like an optimal number to have. The 2 woodcutters camps. So at least at the start of the game, you pretty much always want 2. Okay, which one of these is houses? No, that's not it. Oh, workshop. Oh, housing. Oh, okay. I have to get it from the order. All right, let's put down 2 houses. We'll put a human and a lizard in here. And then everyone else can focus on building the shelters. Oh, right. Alright, speed things up along a little bit. Small farm has no fields. Choose cornerstone. Farming tools, why not? That stuff doesn't matter on this this map. I know this farm doesn't have any fields. We're not gonna worry about it. Can I guess I can't get rid of that. Okay, it's turning this order. Now it wants me to build a small trapper's camp and get some meat. Okay, fantastic.
Oh, we know. Yeah.
2 lizards in here. Where is the meat? Right there. Okay. How do I fit in a small trapper's camp? Oh, that's a trading post. Woodcutters, harvesters. Oh, I bet it's one of the cornerstones. Yep. Oh, there's not space. In fact, let's redeploy one of these woodcutters camps over here because having some space issues. If I recall correctly, lizards really like meat, so you can gather the meat lizards. Alright, come on. Let's scatter all the meats. They're also gathering some leather as well because these resource nodes give both me and a % chance for leather. Okay. Now the game wants us to build a smokehouse so that we can convert meat to jerky. This is part of the more complex production chain. So let's crank out one of these. Ooh, right here would be good. Can you move farms? I guess you can. Oh, it costs resources. Whoops. Doesn't matter. Let's do that. Then let's construct a smokehouse right here because it's logistically more favorable. Okay, now enable meat into jerky recipe. So it's explaining again. We want to use meat to make the jerky and not insects. Then we gotta put some villagers in here. Lizards would actually be really good at it, but I don't have any extra lizards, so the 2 humans will have to do it. Oh, but we got some more villagers, and we picked up a new lizard. Excellent. Oh, we just want to make jerky at this smokehouse. Jerky does take a while to make. I think that was the sound of me exploring a blade, but it shouldn't really matter. Alright, come on. Make the jerky. Now it wants us to build a brewery and make ale. Okay. Sure, put the brewery there. In fact, let's kick this human out. Now that we have enough jerky, we'll kick these humans out. We'll leave one lizard and keep making jerky. Okay, it wants us to make ale, and we should use wheat and barrels. Put 2 humans in here. Humans are good at this stuff. Alright, now we can speed things along. Oh, there's some help text for food. Food. Your villagers need to eat in order to survive. Every few minutes, they will go on a break. Gather around the hearth and try to get something edible from the warehouse. If nothing they like is available, like pickled goods for beavers, they will eat raw food. If there is no food whatsoever, villagers will get 1 stack of the hunger effect. Each stack works as a resolve penalty. If the resolve of a species reaches 0, they will start leaving the settlement. Each species can only withstand a certain number of hunger stacks before dying of starvation. To see the exact number of stacks a species can survive, go to the species section in the encyclopedia, look for hunger tolerance. For example, a human has a hunger tolerance of 6, which means they will die after 7 breaks in a row without consuming food. Even if you grow vegetables on your farms, the amount of food you produce will soon become insufficient for a growing population. The solution is to process raw food and thus multiply it, as most recipes yield more goods than the raw ingredients used to produce them. Some perks can further increase the ratio, or even generate additional food as a byproduct. Alright, so it's just explaining you really need food, or your villagers will die, and you really want buildings like the smokehouse to produce complex food, because that food is a lot more efficient. So we'll make the ale, speed the game up all the way, and then I bet the game will want you to build a tavern to serve the ale, because this brewery is just making ale, not a place to serve it. It doesn't really do anything. Woodcutter's camp has no suitable trees. We'll move you over here. Okay, so now put that in. Yep, it wants us to build a tavern. Next. Ooh, but to build a tavern, I need more planks and whatchamacallit, cloth, meaning I have to first build a crude workshop. Okay, right there. Let's build it right here. In fact, there's no reason to produce more ale. Oh, we'll leave one person in there producing ale. But I need fabric and planks. Alright, something happened. Newcomers. Pick a beaver and a human, I'm thinking. Alright, do we have enough to build the tavern yet? Oh, I have to use leather to make fabric, right? Choose a cornerstone. Efficient brewing, that seems good. Alright, let's force the delivery of these goods so that we can get the tavern rolling. Alright. Put the tavern over here. And then in order to fulfill the need for leisure, we have ale. So if we put humans in here, villagers in here as barkeeps, tavern keepers, then we will get the way. This is how you fulfill the needs for leisure. When the villagers go to the hearth to rest up, they'll drink some ale and feel better. And these service buildings can have special effects, like this one increases the resolve of all the other villagers by 3. So there's good stuff that can happen. But right now we're just gonna wait for sure you can do some building. Just gonna wait for the need for leisure to fulfill. Got newcomers again. Take some lizards. Put an extra lizard in here. You know what? Put some extra lizards everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, almost. Services. Villagers fulfill their most basic needs, such as food or clothing, at the hearth, and need only the right goods to do so. However, there's a separate category of needs that require not only resources, but also a special type of building to fulfill them. These are called services. Service needs include things like leisure, luxury, or religion. To fulfill them, the village will need a suitable service building, such as a tavern or market. Once the appropriate building has been built, workers must be assigned to it. They will then take goods from the warehouse, bring them back to the workplace, and serve them to residents. Villagers don't have to physically go to a service building to fulfill their needs. They will still rest at the hearth as usual, but for them to fulfill the need for leisure, the tavern must be present and operating somewhere in the settlement. Service buildings also offer unique passive bonuses. These are usually global positive effects that activate when a building has a certain number of employees. For example, having 3 workers assigned to the tavern increases resolve for all villagers in the settlement. However, passive service building bonuses don't stack, so building a second tavern will not double the effect. So the general rule is one service building for a particular type is good, and then you might end up building like a couple different service buildings. But anyway, order ready to complete. High society, keep human resolve above 25 or 30 seconds. We've already completed that. Ah, okay, deliver 10 packs of provisions. Now the game wants to explain about trading. Human house again, makeshift post. So let's construct a makeshift post. The one thing I struggle in this game is I can never remember where the buildings are in these icons. Like, I just, for some reason, mentally, I just can't process it. Okay, let's put in a human and a beaver. Why not? So it wants us to make packs of provisions. All we can use are meats to make those. So let's do it. In fact, let's kick some employees out of the smokehouse so we don't use up too many of the meats. These stuff like the packs of provision, the pack of building materials, the pack of crops, these are trade goods. And I wonder if this particular tutorial will actually explain it, or might wait until the next tutorial. But I want you to start getting used to it. Small trapper's camp has no deposits nearby, but look at that. Found another. Oh, I won even without doing that because of the resolve. Okay, that's fine. And we leveled up, meaning there's meta progression in this game. Not unusual for roguelikes. I think there's a tutorial that explains that at some point. Might be this point. There we go. The world is a vast, ever-changing place, and at its heart lies the Smoldering City. Enter the Smoldering City and use the resources you've gathered so far to buy the Obsidian Archive Level 1 upgrade. Alright, buy upgrades. Here's the Obsidian Archive Level 1. Unlock that. Should be... I mean, can we buy more upgrades? Yes. But let's see if we exit out of here, it'll give me some other tutorial message. The world is governed by the eternal Blightstorm cycle. It is almost upon us, so no caravans are allowed to embark. Press the button in the lower right corner of the screen to finish the cycle. Okay, so this is like, how do I explain it? Every town is takes a certain number of years to build up. And then after a certain number of years, the entire map will be wiped out and you start over again. This is what it's trying to explain. So, and I can buy the upgrades at any time. I know I have another upgrade I can buy, but I might as well do it later. Your goal as a Viceroy is to reach the ancient seals with your caravan and reforge them, pushing back the Blightstorm. You're almost ready to venture out on your own. Choose any map tile inside your embarkation range to begin. Well, I mean, might as well buy my upgrade now. I have two choices. I can get an embarkation bonus, or get more Citadel resources. You know what? Citadel resources are pretty valuable stuff. Let's get that first. Alright, so... Right, so embarkations. As you can see, this is what the world looks like. There are various different biomes. There's like the Royal Woodlands here. This is a marshland. This is a Scarlet Orchard, and those can have different effects. There are also modifiers on the map. There's a royal outpost here and a watchtower here that will make the next map easier. And then these seals, when I played early access, these seals did not exist. So my goal is to reforge one of these seals. Okay. Down there. There's one up here. I feel like the watchtower is the way to go just because might put me a little closer to that bronze seal. To embark, you must first choose a caravan that will become the foundation of your town's population. And then the difficulty level. Okay. The higher the risk, the greater the reward. But be aware, an inexperienced Viceroy won't last long on a higher difficulty. Don't worry. We're gonna do Viceroy. Blight, rot, and corruption. Let's name your settlement. I can't think of a name for the settlement. Pioneer Town. Oops. I did not press enter game. I did not press anything. All right. Lastly, use all your embarkation points to take extra goods with you. You are finally ready to embark on your own. Remember, there is always a way out. Experiment and adapt. May the storm be gentle on you, Viceroy. I think that's it for the tutorial, at least the basics. There are some other things like the Hostility and Trade and Ringpunk and Blightrot. The Ringpunk thing you can't even do until you upgrade the Smoldering City to a certain level. Let me click on the Hostility Trade. Okay, there's a special tutorial just for that. Stuff like the Blightstorm Cycle, Ancient Seals, Modifiers, and World Events. Let's read this Modifier and World Events. That's the most relevant right now. World map is full of things waiting to be discovered. Every point of interest on the map is marked with a question mark. May turn out to be either a modifier or world event. Modifiers are special types of objects that change the rules of the game. For example, by allowing you to move any building in your settlement or by blocking your ability to trade. Accept a modifier challenge, simply settle on a map tile adjacent to it. After you win a game near it, the modifier will disappear and you'll be rewarded with additional citadel resources, or in some cases, a special supply box from the Queen herself, with unique rewards such as seal fragments or reserve embarkation points. World events, on the other hand, are short random encounters that offer a specific choice or challenge. If you interact with an event, simply select it when it's in range. Events are indicated by an exclamation point. The dialog box will appear with several options to choose from. Some are as simple as giving up a villager from the caravan for additional resources in each subsequent game, while others require you to win a run under certain conditions. Modifiers I played with, I don't even remember world events. I don't know if they were around when I played Early Access originally. I just can't remember these things, but now the seals are definitely new. This is completely new to me. The Blightstorm Psycho is said to be somehow connected to the strange ancient seals found all around the world map. These intricate structures were built by a long-forgotten civilization. It is believed that they hold a primeval, malevolent force at bay, the so-called sealed ones. Unfortunately, the power of the seals has gradually waned over the millennia, causing the sealed ones to slowly regain their hold on this world. Their goal as the Queen's Viceroy isn't just to establish settlements and collect resources, but also to reforge these ancient seals and help the crown protect the kingdom. To reforge a seal, you will have to journey towards it with your caravan, collect enough seal fragments on the way there by winning games and completing modifiers, and successfully settle right next to it at the very end of the cycle. If you make it there much sooner, you can try to reforge it right away, but the cycle will end as soon as you start your settlement in the sealed forest. There are several types of seals with distinct names and symbols. Each subsequent seal requires more seal fragments and is located further away from the Smoldering City. At the beginning of your journey, you will only see 4 seals on the world map, 2 of the same type as the recently completed one, and 2 new ones. But once you reforge the gold seal for the first time, you will gain access to seal contracts, a feature that allows you to freely pick which type of seals will spawn on the world map. Successfully reforging a seal will grant you additional citadel resources at the end of the cycle. The first time that you reforge a specific seal type, the time between future Blightstones will be extended by a few years. I guess because this is literally a new profile, all you see are the first tier seals, which are these bronze seals. Blightstorm Psycho, I don't know that we need to cover right now. Let's see what the Hostility and Trade tutorial is. I feel like this is a new tutorial. I know about these concepts, but they didn't used to have a tutorial on this stuff. Okay, press any key to start. Each hostility level lowers the resolve of your villagers and makes the storm harsher. One of your main responsibilities is to manage hostility as you develop your settlement. Each region has a unique set of seasonal effects called Forest Mysteries. The positive ones are active during drizzle and the negative ones during the storm. Higher the hostility level, the more negative effects the storm will bring. Establish a trade hub in this region and keep the forest at bay. Okay. Does it just want me to, like, win? Because, oh, okay, Brickyard. Herbalist Camp. That looks new. I think this might just want me to win real quick, because this looks like a regular game. I don't know that I need to do this tutorial, but you probably get some sort of reward for doing it. I think this just wants me to win, because looking at the bars down here, this is what it normally looks like. And I don't really enjoy tutorials, you know. Because it's already been almost an hour, I kind of want to get into a real game. What happens if I click on skip tutorial? Is that what that means? I thought it said I could return to the world map anytime. I'm just gonna skip the tutorial. Back to the world map. Huh. Oh, it will grant some resources for completion. Unlock additional scenarios that will explain the more complex aspects of the game. Well, the blight rot thing might actually be kind of interesting, because that changed quite a bit since I played. Hostility and trade I can explain myself. There's no need to explain that. Yeah, I want to just do a regular game now. Enough with the tutorials. Okay, let's do a settlement in the Royal Woodlands, I'm thinking. Let's take a look at this. You get 93 food if you win, some seal fragments, experience. We don't know what the effects, the positive or the negative effects are, but we do know that the Royal Woodlands are very lush and rich in timber. Trees give more wood, which is great. And this effect, the Watchtower effect, is super strong. Discovering glades doesn't increase hostility. So there's really no downside to discovering glades at all. I guess that's what the tutorial was going to try to explain. That discovering glades is one of the ways you increase hostility and so forth. But it looked like a full game and not just like a basic tutorial, you know. So I'm thinking we should embark like that, but I will do the first real town in the next video. Thank you for watching. Until next time.